CBS presents this program in color.
Hold it. I think you're going to like this picture.
Ready? Go.
Here's Mike Murphy. He's the man of the fans, nothing more. Here's Mike Murphy. It's the show with the most on the score. Well, he's never been in a press box. I talk with the shots through the locker room door. Yes, here's Mike Murphy. The fans talking to fans on the score. And that's Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law.
Fans talking to fans. How you doing, everybody? Murph with you. Thank you, Howard Burke and the band. Murph with you from now until 2 o'clock. Lots to do on a busy Thursday. In about an hour or so, we'll get another look-see inside view of the upcoming NFL draft. We'll visit for a few minutes with our ace in the hole, Dan Shank, over there at Our Lads. We will hear from David Schuster. He's at Wrigley Field. Some changes, and no surprise, some changes. What do you know? David Schuster also will preview tonight's Bulls game. Let's do this. Let's go guest-free. Let's make this little edition of Fan Talk. Fans talking to fans. Phone number remains 644-6767. Murph, driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. As always, I have a bunch of different topics and ideas if you need those to get your juices flowing. But as always, you're welcome to beat the crowd with your fresh idea, fresh topic, or fresh question. Bulls, Blackhawks, Sox, Cubs, Bears, 312-644-6767. And let's also light up our text question here for the first hour, brought to us by and powered by our friends at U.S. Cellular. In Vegas right now, Bulls tonight at home, Game 3, make it a best-of-5 series. Bulls are did you see what the point spread is? All right, you're in the car, you're at work right now. Real quick, what do you think the point spread is? Well, let's see now. I don't know, Murph. Boston was, 8-9-point favorites in both of the games in Boston. The Bulls are the favorite at home, 2.5 points. Will they win by 3 or more? Yes or no? That's our text question to get us rolling. 67011. Text me yes. Bulls will win by 3 points or more. No. Bulls will not win by 3 points or more. The line in Vegas, 2.5. Hey, Blackhawk fans, what a game last night. Want to hear from you. Down early, 4-1. Ready to turn the TV. What was that, the national anthem? They didn't show the national anthem on Comcast. Probably had a few extra commercials this time around. I don't know. I wonder if the Calgary fans booed our national anthem as they did the first game. They did it in Montreal. They booed all the games up there with the Boston Bruins, the U.S. anthem. So, again, if you're going Saturday night to the United Center, Game 5, zip it. Show a little respect. Don't lower yourself. No booing of the Canadian national. I don't know. Maybe someone... do we have anybody that was in Calgary last night? Maybe now that would be a hardcore Hawks fan to be in Calgary, maybe be back in Chicago today. All right, let me ask Blackhawk fans. Last night's game. Hawks fall behind 4-1. 3 in a row, they tie it up 4-4, and then they lose 5-4. You watched the game. Did Calgary... How do I want it? Did they out-hustle the Blackhawks? Did Calgary outplay the Blackhawks last night? Did Calgary out-physical the Blackhawks last night? 644-6767. And if you watched that game, I want to hear from you. Did you think like I did when the score went 4-1, when Calgary got those 3 in a row, did you not think like I did that Coach Q, Joe Quenneville, was going to pull Hobby Bullen, right? Were you waiting for it? Oh, man, they're down 4-1. Everything's going wrong. Pull the goalie. Give him a little rest. Give him a little break. Have him ready, fresh and ready to go for Game 5. Did you think that? If you did like I did, we were wrong. And Q did the right thing. Kept them in there. Hawks get 3 quickies, make it 4-4. See, there's so much psychologically going on in a 7-game series. Basketball, hockey, if Quenneville had pulled like I thought he would, I probably would if he'd have asked me, and I'm glad he didn't. Yeah, take him out. Let him get his head cleared for... No, that would have been a major message to the Calgary Flames. Was that the team Jay Zawaski used to be in Atlanta?
Yeah, they were the Atlanta Flames. Actually, the players who wear the A on their jersey, the alternate captains, that A is the Atlanta Flames logo.
Really?
Yep.
So they kept them the Flames because they just didn't want to spend the money on new uniforms, let's be honest, when they moved up there?
Yeah.
A lot of Flames up in... I mean, obviously Gone with the Wind, Atlanta, I mean, the Flame, right? That's where... Sort of like the Utah Jazz. All right, Sox fans. Let me ask you this, Sox fans. By the way, do we have any results? Oh, text results are coming in. Yes or no? Will the Bulls win by 3 or more? Vegas says Bullies a 2.5-point favorite. 67011. Yes or no? I want to get a few more results in here because right now it's early. It's early because I'm very, very impressed with your responses. Sox fans, how about Chris Getz? How come no one's talking about the White Sox new leadoff hitter, Chris Getz? I want to hear from a Sox fan or two. Chris Getz, is this guy real or fake? You know, forever or never? Stud or dud? What have I left out? Tops or flops, right? Chris Getz. Give me a scouting report, Sox fans. All he's doing now is hitting frozen rope line drives. And Cub fans, Lou Piniella announced about an hour ago, Bradley not able to play today. His leg's not ready to go. But when he does come back, Lou said, we'll get those sound bites. We'll visit with David Schuster soon. When he comes back, says, I'm ready to go 100%, he will be dropped from the 3-hole. I'm sorry, from cleanup, of course, down to the 6th hole. Cub fans, was this guy dogging it last night, did you think? Well, he's hurt. See, so everyone was dogging it last night, dogging him, booing him, getting on him. Look at this guy. He's not hustling. You were out there. Couldn't get to 2 pop balls out in right field. Dogged it down the line. Now we find out from Lou Piniella that he's injured. The groin doesn't allow him to go full speed. Or could it be that Lou says, you know, young man, I'm going to bench you for last night, and we're going to say that it's the groin. We're going to tell everybody it's the groin. We're going to help you save face. Because right now you're not off to a very good start. Derek Lee, does he need glasses? I mean, the only thing that still remains is that Derek Lee needs eyeglasses. I mean, 88-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle and he swings late. How can that be? You know, hey, we all wish it was the Derek Lee from 3-4 years ago. You know, great guy, good for the community, talks to the press. That seems to be a big deal these days at Wrigley. What was that? We'll have Schuster on. He was on with Hampton Holmes and says that Lou Piniella suggested that Milton Bradley ought to be more friendly to the press. Me, I don't give a rat's rooty tooty if the guy talks to anybody, but he better perform. Derek Lee, maybe he needs eyeglasses. Let's go to the phones. I see I got Blackhawks fans, I got Bulls fans. I don't have one Sox fan up there yet. 644-6767. Have you checked out your leadoff hitter? I'll give you Chris Getz numbers in a minute if that's what you need. Let's go to Glenview. Chip's on the score. Hey, Chip.
Hey, Murph. Good afternoon.
Hello there.
I want to believe very badly that Milton Bradley was not dogging it. I don't think he's a guy that gives less than 100% unless he's been told to take it easy or not kill yourself here early in the season. That being said, he should be on the DL.
Well, yes, go on. I'm sorry, go on.
I don't know if Henry's afraid if he puts him on the DL, people are going to write things about him. They're going to call in. They're going to say he's a dog. I got to believe this guy is a balls-out guy, and I just think he needs to go on the DL. The long run is what's important. You know, he's a good hitter, and he's a good player, and I don't believe Jim Hendry would make a $30 million mistake.
Well, I'm with you up and down on everything, but, Chip, something don't add up. I mean, I'm with what you say is perfect. I couldn't have written it down and said it better. But will you then agree with me? Something don't add up. If his leg was bad 7, 8, 9 days ago, why didn't they put him on the DL? You know it's going to be cold for the next week or two. Just shut him down. But
maybe Milton Bradley insisted on trying to play out. What I'm afraid of...
Well, hold that thought. Yes. But who makes the final decision? It's not Lou Piniella, and it's not the player. It's everybody involved, the trainer, Jim Hendry, and the manager, and let the player have a little input so he thinks he's involved. But really, isn't it up to the GM and the trainer and then the manager? They all get together on a DL, or if the guy can play or not, I'm guessing, right?
Well, I'm worried that Hendry is worried that if he gets in a hole with these fans, and here's what I'm worried about, Murph. If you get in a hole with Chicago fans, be it the Bears, be it the Bulls, be it the White Sox, you're in trouble. And we've seen that happen with players that show less than an effort. Now, I believe the guy's hurt.
Right. Now, if a guy dogs it, he ought to get ripped and he ought to get booed. But the tricky thing is right now, how do you as a fan, not you, how does a fan know if Bradley's dogging it or if he's hurt? I'm going to say don't worry about Bradley. He's going to be fine. But right now, there's a little bump in the road. Hey, I got more phone calls I'm going to take. Chip, talk to you again.
Gotcha, Murph. Have a great one.
All right. Now, Chip, thank you. You too. Now, Chip raises an interesting point. By the way, the big air conditioning projects, you're a plant operations manager, facilities, thetowngroup.com. My guys at West Town and North Town, Southwest Town, Northwest Town, just go to thetowngroup.com. They do it right. Piping, chillers, air conditioning, problem solvers, thetowngroup.com. Now, in the last 5 years, fans have become much more vociferous. They've been much more, and that's fine. Chicago fans, probably all around the country. On the last call, I want to read to you now today's Tribune, Mark Gonzalez, White Sox beat reporter in the White Sox notebook, and he talks to Ozzie Guillen. Manager Ozzie Guillen understands the anguish that White Sox fans felt over the struggles of Mike McDougal. But, now listen to this, it gets interesting. Guillen sometimes wonders about the ferocity of fans who seek instant results with 149 games left in the season. Guillen says, quote, I'm not a loser, but if people are already panicked, wow, they're going to have a tough summer, Guillen said calmly on Wednesday. Now, every fan in Chicago is now a day-by-day freak-out. And that's fine. Hey, we love our sports. That's why you're listening to The Score. That's where The Score's on the air. We're emotional. If we weren't emotional towards our team, you know what? We wouldn't care, and we wouldn't boo, and we wouldn't cheer, and quite frankly, we wouldn't watch or go or listen or visit The Score. But Ozzie Guillen says it right here. He says, fans now seek instant results in a 162-game season every day. He says, if you're already panicking, you're going to have a tough summer. Now, you can paint that picture for the Sox fans, Cubs fans, both. Everyone on hold, I'll get right to you. Text results are in. 55% of you to 45% of you are saying yes. The Bulls will win by more than the 2.5 points in Vegas. Bulls by 3 or more. Does Derek Lee need glasses? Milton Bradley. Something doesn't add up right here. Is Chris Getz the best leadoff hitter that you're going to have this year? And you might love this kid, Sox fans. Blackhawks, did you think? I did. Coach Q was going to pull Hobby, Boolin, down 4-1. I would have done it, and I would have been wrong. It's The Score back in a flash. I don't know if they booed during the national anthem, the American anthem. It wasn't on TV from Calgary. They had a couple extra spots. God loves Sports Channel.
Campbell goes back to Versteeg. Buffalo in front of the net. Here's a chance for Buffalo. Shot, they score! A redirect in front. It might have been Buffalo, or it could have been a Calgary stick, but Dustin Buffalo where he's supposed to be, and the Hawks have tied it.
Looked good right there, 4-4. Man, there was about 32 seconds remaining in the second period. Highlights, Comcast Sportsnet. Actually, the goal was awarded to Sammy Paulson upon further review. Blackhawks come back with 3 in a row to tie it 4-4. But then Eric Nystrom, about midway through the third period, on a rebound shot. Let me say this. There's a lot of goals that are, cheap and a lot that are well-earned, and they all count. They all count. But 2 of the Flames' goals, come on. The Cam Barker, where the puck all of a sudden took a little hop, rolled up on his stick, and he does like a wiffle ball cross-ring pass, gets picked off. Hey, it's going to happen. really wasn't hard-earned, well-earned. And what's his other guy's name? Ole Jokinen or whatever? That was a backhander that went off the stick of Seabrook. But, hey, they all count. Back to Chicago, and it is a best of 3 with the Blackhawks having 2 of the games at home. Saturday night should be rocking at the barn, and tonight it'll be rocking with the Bullies. Let's get to the phones. By the way, now 60% of you are saying, yes, the Bulls will win by more than 2.5. Run to Vegas. Put it down. Larry from Huntley, Illinois. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Murph, how you doing today?
I'm fine. Larry, you want to talk a little White Sox baseball, I understand.
Yes, I do.
What do you think? Yes.
The real deal. He's tenacious. He's hard-nosed.
Mm-hmm.
It is best effort every inning, every game.
Well, we know it's early. We've been around the block long enough as fans to know that, you have to really step out and say it's the real deal because it's early. But what's interesting, he's taking that job right now, and no one's going to take it from him until he hands it back. I'm talking the leadoff slot, right?
That's right, and I don't think he'll give it back.
You know what? I love a story like this. I hope the kid is in the leadoff slot for many years to come. Larry, thank you, buddy. How about these numbers? Listen to this. Oh, you gotta see Jack.com, Jack Phelan Chevrolet, my guys. Home of the GM Total Confidence Package, the 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, OnStar vehicle value protection. Check it all out at Jack Phelan Chevrolet. You gotta see Jack.com. Check out these numbers. Chris Getz, on April 12th, Sunday, he was hitting $176, 3 for 17. Right now he's hitting .316, 12 for 38. Guess what he has done since April 12th? 9 for 21. He's hitting .430. Nothing but ropes. We'll see if it lasts. Murphapalooza. Car phone Bob and a truck phone Kenny, Barrington, Park Forest, North Riverside. As soon as we get back, you're on the radio. Sports Radio 670. Murph. Got some Bears talk later also. NFL draft style. Schuster from Wrigley Field. I'm driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com.
On 670 The Score and 670thescore.com. And now back to Murph.
.com. Thank you very much. Phone lines are jammed. Murph till 2. We'll hear in a moment from David Schuster. He's out at Wrigley Field. Text results have leveled off here. At about 57% of you say yes. Go to Vegas. Say Bulls by more than 2.5. I'm hoping everybody out there is. I hope we get this up to about 100%. Let's go to. Let me know when David phones in, all right, guys? Bob's on a car phone next. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Murph, how you doing?
Good. Bob, the Blackhawks now have a best-of-3 series with home, Calgary, and home. How do you like the feel of that?
Well, I'm a season ticket holder, and I've been to many games this year. Here's what I kind of think.
Yeah.
The Hawks start playing, and they fall behind. I think they start the game, and they're a little tentative.
Mm-hmm.
They're more of a counter-punching team, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They fall behind. It happened in the second game at home, from down 2-0. Then it happened again when we went down 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
They started creating 10 minutes of hell, 8 minutes of hell, and it's nothing but chaos. And they can't keep that up, the other team. They can't match them. They chase them. They can't. They don't have an answer for that. And that seems like when the Hawks are at their best. I think that Quenneville needs to take a little bit. I know it goes against the grain a little bit of what you look for in the Stanley Cup, but I think they got to take the training wheels off these guys. Just let them go. Have fun. Let them go.
The Calgary's second goal and the fourth goal, and they all count. We know that. We've been around. But one was where the puck rolled up on Cam Barker, and it was, the wiffle ball pass was, and the other one was a backhand, Ole Jokin or whatever his damn name is, off the stick of Seabrook. It wasn't like they were getting just peppered and, getting outshot out there. But I think the home crowd is going to get these guys pumped up. Are you going to be out there, season ticket holder Bob?
I will be there Saturday, Murph. I wouldn't miss that for the world.
Now, do you have a red a sweater jersey, a red T-shirt? What are you wearing red?
Unfortunately, my jersey's white, but I do have a red shirt I will be wearing. I will take the jersey in lieu of the red shirt.
How about a nice red rose in the lapel like in the old days, huh?
Don't get crazy.
Okay, Hey, I got to run. Thank you, Bob. Don't get crazy. All right. Right there in the lapel. Nice little red... Score hot phone ringing. Let's punch it up. Let's go out to Wrigley Field. It's David Schuster live at the ballpark. I hope he's live. Hello, David.
Oh, I'm alive, Murph. Alive and well.
All right, David. Real quick, the Bulls fans and the Chicago fans have responded in large numbers to my text question, thanks to U.S. Cellular, powered by U.S. Cellular. The question was pretty basic. Las Vegas has installed the Bulls as a 2.5-point favorite. Yes or no? Will the Bulls win by 3 or more? And the fans of the Score have texted in at about it's 61% yes. Bulls by 3 or more. It's going to be a hell of a game tonight, David.
Bulls will win, Murph, by more than 3 points tonight. Bulls win the series in 6 games.
Well, I love that. We have the Blackhawks now just a best of 3, Game 5 Saturday night. But David's out at Wrigley Field. I heard your report about 2 hours ago. You jumped in with our guys, Hamp and Holmes. And evidently, big wheel, keep on turning. What's going on with Milton Bradley?
Well, what's going on with Milton Bradley is that he's back out of the lineup. Last night was a cameo on his part, if you will. An 0-for-4 performance as a starter, 3 strikeouts, didn't really run out that ground ball when he did make contact with the ball. So here's Lou Piniella before today's game.
With Milton, when he's ready to play, we'll put him out there. I told him basically that we'll take him out of the 4th hole when he gets back, and we'll put him back in the 6th hole where he might be a little more comfortable. And we'll go from there.
So with that in mind, here's today's lineup, Murph. It's Soriano in left, Terrio at short, Fukudomi hitting third, playing center, Derek Lee at first base, cleanup, Ramirez behind him at third, Hoffpower in right, Soto behind the plate, Fontenot at second, Zambrano, of course, on the mound.
Well, David, things aren't going well because the fans, and Ozzie even talked about Sox fans in the Tribune today, that now basically he's saying every day is life or death for the fans. They call it instant results. The fans want it now. Ozzie says, wow. And I think this is both sides of town. Don't get me wrong. It's everybody these days. It's the way it is. He says, wow, you're going to have a long, tough summer if you're already panicking, is what Ozzie says. But the fans last night weren't happy, and they showed us how unhappy they were to Milton Bradley with some booing. What doesn't make sense, let me rephrase it, what does not add up, David Schuster, is why wasn't this a disabled list job after he came out of the game, and I have it here, April 12th, a week ago, Sunday?
Well, it's a real good question, Murph, because if he would have DL'd him, he would be back this weekend, and you could have had another body up here. You could have had Jake Fox up here, who's hitting a ton down at Iowa. So it's a legitimate question, but whether he said that he could play or the Cubs training staff thought he could play, and after last night's game they've decided again that he can't play, that's in their heads. They haven't told us that. But I am going to take issue with you on something that you said. You said that, and I'm going to play you a cut from Lou Piniella here in just a second, that you said the ball players really don't have to talk to the press or the media. And obviously that is their prerogative. There's no bylaws in any of those sports that you have to talk to the media.
The NFL does make players speak. I believe that's when Urlacher and Briggs got in trouble a year ago.
You're right. Actually, Briggs finally did have to come down after a long boycott. Right. He did have to talk to us. But you know what? It just behooves them, Murph, for starters, to talk to us. And you say, by talking to us, they are talking to the fans, and you're one of the fans. So don't you want to hear from Milton Bradley? Don't you want to hear from his mouth? Is he injured or is he not? I can't tell you if he's dogging it. I can't tell you how injured he is. He's hiding from us.
Well, We'll take that on another issue next time we have more time. I'd rather just see him hit. But, everything you say is valid. That too. But everything you say is valid. What does Lou have to say?
Well, let's listen to it.
I think you can make it much easier on yourself communicating. That's basically up to the individual. But at the same time, you're in the public limelight, and people want to know what's going on.
And then Jim Hendry, off microphone, a few moments after that, said he thinks that Milton will be talking to us shortly.
Now, here's what doesn't add up is, and you nailed it, we don't know, and I don't think we should know, what went on behind closed doors on April 12th when he had to leave the game. Was obviously the training staff, and they got Marco O'Neill. They have a great training staff, Mr. Hendry, Mr. Piniella, Mr. Bradley. I'm sure the four of them powwow on something like this, and they decided no disabled list. we aren't privy to what went on then, but it's apparent now that he still is not healthy, or he was dogging it. See, here's where it gets ugly. There's only two possibilities, and we don't know which it is. So the facts of the matter are, either he dogged two pop balls out in right field that he probably no one would have really got to, but it doesn't look good when you go half-assed, and he went half-assed down the line on a hit ball. Now, he's either got pain and it hurts and he can't perform, or he's dogging it. Now, that is my belief, David, why they have decided to ask him to talk to the media. They're trying to nip it in the bud before the fans start. See, it's already getting ugly out there. And
nip it in the bud.
Oh, there's Barney Fife, nip it in the bud. So I believe it's wise to try to have damage control, to try to get Mr. Bradley to talk to the fans, yes, through you.
Absolutely, Murph. It only takes 30 seconds.
Yes.
My God. Guys, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you. I've really been aggravated with myself. My injury's really bothering me, and it's affecting my performance. End of story. How tough was that?
So why did he start? See, here's what.
Why did he start last night?
None of this. See, nothing adds up here. He shouldn't, obviously, either he shouldn't have played or he should be benched right now for dogging it.
Well, I guess, they thought after 4 or 5 days of rehabilitating that groin injury and the weather finally got a little bit warmer, though not much last night. They figured, let's get him out there, let's see what he can do.
Well, someone figured wrong.
I guess so. Now, on top of all that, the fans are a little upset with him because how he's making outs. He's looking at pitches. Now, the one that he got suspended on, that was not a strike.
Yeah.
But he was also called out twice on pitches last night. One of them a curveball right over the plate.
He takes a lot of. See, that's him though. But he takes a lot of pitches even when he's doing well.
Well, don't do it with 2 strikes though.
Well, maybe see, I haven't. We don't see him every day for the last 5 years. It's tough to evaluate a player when he's new to your team. Do you think the Mark DeRosa fallout is not also part of this from the fans' edginess? I do.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I really don't.
We've heard calls again today on the score. Mark DeRosa. See, the fans, as they should have, they loved Mark DeRosa. And they still don't understand why he's not here, which is fine. But I'm going to say that some of the discomfort towards Milton Bradley from the fans is they still are upset, and that's their right. That DeRosa's gone.
Well, maybe there is a fraction out there who feel that way. To me, Fontenot replaced DeRosa.
Well,
Milton Bradley replaced him on the roster.
Well, we know
that,
but that's the fan is not expected to analyze the roster when he starts booing. I mean, you're right. But we can't, you can't assume a fan's supposed to figure out that it was really Fontenot who, by the way, has won for his last 22. Now, Kevin Gregg gives up a homer and a single last night, and the boo bird started down on him, right?
Yeah, I think fans are really booing these two guys because of performance, not because of somebody who's not here.
Well, let me point this out. Hey, Jay Zawoski, do we have the tape from yesterday? No, we don't, but come on and back me on this. Remember yesterday? Kerry Wood, did you see this a day ago, David Schuster? Kerry Wood on Tuesday came in with an 8-5 lead for the Indians at home in the top of the ninth. He gave up a single and a home run for 2 runs, but got the save 8-7. I said, well, you know what? If Greg were to give up a single and a homer, they'd be booing his. Well, he did it reverse last night, a homer and a single. If Kerry Wood had given up that homer last night and a single, they would not have been booing Kerry Wood.
I'm not so sure about that, Murph. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
All right, well, that'd be interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, over the last 3 to 4 years here, the boos have been towards everybody.
Instant results is what Ozzie Guillen called it.
Well, and I think on this side of town, after 100-plus years, I think that's what people want.
Hey, David, great job. And, hey, tell Paul Sullivan I love when he calls out Crane Kenny right in the paper, his big boss.
That great?
Oh, hey, Paulie Sullivan, you got to love him.
You should give him a prize for that, Murph.
Crane Kenny met with Cincinnati manager Dusty Baker in the clubhouse before yesterday's game, Paul Sullivan writes. In their meeting, Kenny denied, when he talked to Dusty, denied telling an audience at January's Cubs convention that there was, quote, not a chance the 07 team would have won its division, the Cubs, with, quote, our former manager still in charge. He said to Dusty Baker, no, I never said that. And then the next sentence, here's our guy Paul Sullivan. Those remarks, however, were caught on tape with more than 500 witnesses at the fans' convention.
And that holds up in a court of law, Murph.
Well, I'll have to get Judge Murphy on that one. Thanks a lot, David.
All right, Murph.
Great job, David Schuster, live from Wrigley Field. Everyone on hold. Back to Fans Talking to Fans, and I'll start with Sam in Barrington when we return. Sam's been the patient fan right now. 644-6767. It's The Score. I agree. I think the Blackhawks are going to take this thing in Calgary after Game 6. Hey, did Calgary out-hustle the Blackhawks? No. I don't think so. Did they outplay them, out-physical them? No. You know what? I think it's going to be a big, fun night when the Blackhawks win Game 5, and then they'll get to Calgary and going to wrap that thing right up. And the Chicago Bulls tonight, 2.5-point favorite. You are saying the Bulls by 3 or more. Let's get back to the phone lines. Murph till 2. And, oh, by the way, another video review disputed home run at Yankee Stadium, 2 in 1 week. All they need is to put the basket out there because there's a design flaw. The fans are reaching over. And broken bats, another one by Bradley last night, nearly cold-cocked the pitcher for the Reds, Johnny Cueto. Good news for Kerwin Danley, the umpire that was taken to the hospital. He has been released. Hopefully he's okay as he's broken bats. It's been happening for over a year or two now, and Bud Selig won't stop it. Sam is in Barrington next. He's been patient. Hello, Sam.
Hey, Murph. Yeah, I have been patient.
Yes, thanks. Take all the time you want. Thanks for holding.
Hey, what I wanted to point out is we're talking about Derek Lee, and does he need glasses? The thing with Derek Lee is, and we see this year after year, he is a slow starter. He's never, ever had a fast start. And I think we just got to be patient with him.
Well, I don't know that he's never had a fast start, but I tend to feel the same way you do, just, from memory. He always starts slow. But doesn't it worry you that he just, in the last year or two, he's not the 40 home run guy that he was. That was a one-year fluke, I guess, career year they call it. But I don't see that the gap power, driving the ball anywhere near as often as you'd like.
Well, I see that, but since the steroid era has now been opened up, I think everybody should go back to what they used to be good at. He should be a line drive hitter. Just when he used to go with the flow of where the ball was pitched to him, poke it into right center, left center. That's the type of hitter I think he really is. I don't view him as a home run hitter.
Well, everybody's guilty till proven innocent from the steroid era.
Exactly. You got that right.
Where would his best slot in the batting order be, in your eyes? 3?
3 hole. Yeah, I think 3.
All right. Today's actually batting cleanup with Fuki in the 3 hole. Hey, Sam, phone again, buddy. Thanks a million.
Okay, Murph, you take care.
All right. Let's go to Jim is in Evergreen Park. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Murph, how are you?
Fine. I bet you don't like this lineup today, batting order.
Good guess. Murph, I mean, there's a couple different things. And that guy actually, last year, if you remember, Derek Lee hit like 12 home runs at the beginning of the season, the first 2 months, and then he went cold, and then obviously he had a good hot start in 06 when he had the great year.
They must check everyone's vision. I mean, these are multi-million-dollar investments. I'm sure in spring training they all get a full physical, and they, hey, like the eye doctor, put your, do you see the E? Which way are they pointing? Left, right, up, down? Can you see it? Fuzzy? Better? Worse? They got to give these guys an eye check, so I can't believe he can't see the ball.
Yeah, I can't either, but I think you said it earlier, but he's either weakly popping up or fouling off 87-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle. He's not a free hitter. I don't understand. John Dewan, I think, has done the stat before where the further you go down in the batting order, you lose about 18 at-bats.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's going to be our centerpiece this Tuesday. But Derek Lee drops down today to the 4 hole. But Ramirez is what you're leading up to. I hear our music coming up, so it's cool. But Ram...
Why is he not batting third?
I don't know.
They should start asking Lou about that. Like they ask him about Soriano batting.
Well, you know what? I'm going to talk with John Dewan Tuesday on this topic, and I'm going to say, well, if Soriano bats leadoff, why doesn't Ramirez bat number 2 and get those... You see... It doesn't make sense, but yet if Soriano leads off, why not Ramirez number 2 and the Sox putting their sluggers 1, 2, 3, 4? That'll be Tuesday at noon. You're looking ahead for me. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. Thanks, Murph.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Murph, till 2. Got a little football talk. Our lads going to break down a little more about what the Bears are going to do with their first pick in the second round. Get back to some Sox talk, Bulls and Blackhawks, and more. It's The Score. Driven to you by Chevy Drives, Chicago.com.
You have now reached the middle of our program. If you are considering quitting, I must tell you that it will take you just as long to go back to where you came in as it will to continue to the end. So you might as well go ahead after this word from your local station.
Thank you. What a beautiful day. Look at this. Springtime in Chicago. Got the convertible down. Heading on in on Lakeshore Drive.
There ain't no roses like it.
Murph till 2.
Anywhere I found. Running south on Lakeshore Drive.
Driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. All right, let's do this. Let's break away for just a few minutes from the Bulls and the Blackhawks and the first place Sox and the game behind first place Cubs this Saturday, and we'll have wall-to-wall coverage here on The Score. You know that whenever we have a few minutes this time of year, we like to visit with the guys over at OurLads.com. OurLads.com. Delivery line ringing. Let's punch it up. It's our guy, Dan Shonka, publisher, national scout. Hello, it's Murph, Dan.
How you doing, Murph?
I'm fine. The busy guys at OurLads.com. You still have time to get the entire booklet out. You got everything online. What do you have for the fans if they quick get a hold of you still?
I tell you what, Murph, this is just for your radio listeners out there. They can go online and order our draft guide, and we will send them an online PDF file of the book, and they'll have that baby right in front of them when they're helping the Bears pick the draft this weekend.
Well, I tell you what, I have the copy right here. Passed a few along over to Mully and Hanley and some of the other guys. Scouting service, OurLads.com. All right, let's get down to the bread and butter, the nitty-gritty here, the nuts and bolts. Are you ready, Dan Shonka?
I was born ready, Murph.
Here's the deal. I have a quote here I'm going to read to you from our guy Brad Biggs over at the Chicago Sun-Times earlier this week in his Bears report, and it's Jerry Angelo acknowledged that the Bears are looking at wide receivers for their first pick, number 49, in round number 2. But here's where it gets interesting, Dan Shonka. But Angelo said if the player they want is not there, Angelo doesn't foresee a big difference if his guy ain't there between the 49th pick, number 99, their next pick. Maybe the Bears would go after a safety, defensive lineman in the second round, according to Brad Biggs. Now, here's where I want to ask you, Dan. The rumors are that the 3 Bears wide receivers they're looking at would be Ohio State's Brian, is it Rabisky?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Georgia's Mohamed Mascoy, is that how you pronounce it? Mascoy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And over at Oklahoma, Iglesias, is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got 2 out of 3 right. Those are the guys that the inside sources say are the 3 wideouts that Angelo might take at 49. I'm going to put the pressure on you now, Dan. Will any of those 3, in your opinion, possibly still be around at 49?
Absolutely. We think Rabisky will be gone, but we think Mohamed Massaquoi and Iglesias from Oklahoma will both be there at 49.
Then would you say that would be a move that the Bears should consider?
Yeah, I think that they've got to get receivers somewhere along the line. And Jerry may be right. There may be some a little bit later. I think he wants, obviously those 2 guys are a little bit bigger than a couple guys that we like in that range in the late, second or third. Guys that maybe Steve Smith size 5'8", and and 195 that can really scoot. But those 2 guys are a little bit bigger, and I think they'll both be there.
They won't be at 99, of course.
No, they'll probably be gone at 99.
Right. I have a soundbite here I want to play for Jerry Angelo a couple days ago. By the way, Vuk is on your side, everybody. My guy Jeff Vukovich, Murph's nationwide insurance agent of the year. You know, Vuk's there for all your insurance needs. He's a family guy, solid as a rock right there in Park Ridge. Vuk for all your insurance needs. Now, Jerry Angelo has a sort of special way of speaking, Dan. And, he's got that sort of general manager speak where sometimes he talks a lot but doesn't say anything, or sometimes he'll throw a little nugget in. You want to eavesdrop with me right now, Dan? He's going to talk about vanilla ice cream cones with some sprinkles on them. You ready?
I'm born ready.
I don't want to draft a receiver and, get you off my back for, a couple of months and then find out that he's just a vanilla, a vanilla cone. That's not the goal. We want to come out with something, we have some sprinkles on it, a little twist to it, to bring a little playmaking ability to the position, and that's what we're fixed on. If we don't feel we're going to get a little twist to this guy, then, we don't want to take him. We want a guy to have a little juice to him.
All right, Jerry Angelo, I love that. Hey, Danny says, we don't want a vanilla ice cream cone here. If we take a whiteout, 49, we want some of those nice little sprinkles on him with a little twist. You know what I mean? What do you think? Can he get that sprinkle guy with the twist?
Yeah, I tell you what, the guy that's got the sprinkles on him, of course, is Iglesias. He's a big-time kickoff return guy, too. So if you don't want to have, Devin Hester back there, Manning did a great job. But if you don't want to put Hester back there, at least on kickoffs, hey, Iglesias has got a little bit of the wiggle that he's talking about.
Now, a few minutes after that, and this was earlier this week when Jerry Angelo met the press, he sort of changed the course on this, and now you're going to hear Jerry talk about the 49th pick, but it doesn't really have to be a home run hitter. Jerry Angelo.
You're not going to get a home run player at the 49th pick. We're realistic of that. We want to get a good quality player that we can win with, and as I said, fit one of those needs that we're talking about.
Now that's realism right there. The 49th pick. You're never going to get that home run hitter, or maybe there is that diamond in the rough out there, Dan. That's why guys like you and each team scouts, they're living daylights for years and years. Is it possible to get a home run at any position around number 49?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll give you one right now. In fact, I'll give you two of them right now. Hey, Devin Hester was in that second-round area somewhere.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, here's another one. All-pro corner for Philadelphia Eagles, Bobby Taylor from Notre Dame was a 3 or 4 time Pro Bowler that we took at the 50th pick in the draft. So that's just two right off the top of my head right now. But, hey, Jerry's going to get a good player at 49. And you know what? Even if he doesn't want those receivers, there's going to be safeties there like Delmas from Western Michigan. Patrick Chung will possibly be there from Oregon. So you're going to – and then, if you want a pass rusher, maybe Larry English is going to be there. So he's going to get a good player at 49.
I have an email here, final couple of minutes, Dan Shonka. Then we'll get back to some Bulls and Blackhawks, White Sox talk. You can reach Dan at ourlads.com, just like it sounds, OURLADS, like our boys, our lads. We'll get the famous phone number in a minute also. I have an email here, Dan Shonka, from Kevin in Bartlett, and you must have read his mind just then. He says, Murph, I got a question when Dan comes on as a Northern Illinois University fan. Can you get his thoughts on defensive end linebacker prospect Larry English? Murph, I watched him for 4 years. He's been an impressive player. The last 3 years, teams had the game plan around Larry English. For all our NIU fans listening, give me a thumbnail on him, please, Dan.
I'll tell you what, Larry English is a guy that, he's one of those tweeners that people are trying to project as that maybe right outside linebacker in a 3-4 or a pass rushing defensive end in a 4-3 like the Bears play. And but he's a guy that, I tell you what, he gives it up hard every game. He's a guy you want on your team, extra effort guy. Hey, the Bears could certainly use a pass rush up front. He would be a guy that, will certainly be in somebody's mix. A lot of people are talking about him even late in the first round, but you know what? Guys slide at times, but he's a very athletic guy. He's very productive over his career. He's a 4-year player. You're talking about a guy that's got 31.5 sacks. He's explosive off the edge. He just has to keep improving in his pass rush moves because once he gets around the corner now, he can flatten out and get right to that quarterback. So he's going to be in somebody's mix pretty early.
That's Larry English. This hour of the score brought to you by Menards. And as a guy who has also got a big NFL background like you, Dan, am I reading that a few more teams are going to the 3-4 this year? And if so, why are they doing that? And how will that affect, a draft or a guy like Larry English? So the 3-4, is that going to gain a little steam this year, have you heard?
Yeah, well, I think this, Murph, everybody has got a 3-4 package in their scheme, whether you're a 4-3 team. But, yeah, a few more teams are going that direction because it's easier to find the smaller guy, the linebacker, rather than the big, strong, 6'4", 300-pound guys that have to, anchor your inside and things. So, you're going to have to go with what's out there, like in college, where there's a lot more linebackers and big defensive linemen. So more teams are kind of edging their way to that 3-4. And of course, hey, you look at the top teams in the National Football League. They're 3-4 teams. A lot of them, where it's New England or it's the Steelers or where Baltimore's defense. They're all those 3-4. So. Hey, it's a copycat league, and a lot of people are copying that.
Here's the famous phone number, 1-800-PRO-DRAFT, or just go to ourlads.com. Dan, you have a special. What do you have for the scoreheads? If someone's just tuned in right now, if you go to ourlads.com real quick, what do you have for us?
Hey, they go to ourlads.com, and we'll get that draft guide out to on a PDF file so they can study the Bears.
Beautiful. Hey, Dan, always a pleasure. Maybe we can catch up with you for a quickie next week and review the selections by Jerry Angelo. He's going to 31 flavors. He wants the sprinkles on top of a hot fudge sundae. He doesn't want that vanilla ice cream cone at all, does he?
No, but I'll tell you what. Hey, he's going to get that root beer float or that banana split at 49.
Oh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Dan, I know you have a busy day here and a busy week. Thanks for your time. Catch up with you soon.
Thank you for asking, Murph. It's always great being with you.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stan Shonka, it's Murph. I tell you what. Let's reload the phones right now. I want to get back to our earlier topics. If you weren't able to get through, I'm asking Bulls fans, Vegas says the Bulls by 2.5. Do you agree? We got we're up to 60%. Yeah, Bulls going to win this game tonight by 3 or more. Key to the game, I guess, going to be Salmon's, right? Salmon's. He's got that same little groin thing like our guy Milton Bradley. Let me ask you this. Who do you dislike more right now? The Boston Celtics or the Calgary Flames? Why don't we load up a new text right now, Jay Zawoski, 67011, powered by U.S. Cellular. Just, how about the letter B, Boston, Celtic, Boston, or the letter C for Calgary? Want to hear, who do you dislike more? B, Boston, C, Calgary, me? I think I'm going to be out of step Charlie on this one. I'll tell you when we return. Why should this be anything different? And Chris Getz, Sox fans, he has been on fire. I have some analysis during the White Sox game on radio yesterday. Wait till you hear what Farmio and DJ had to say about Chris Getz. And another disputed home run at the new Yankee Stadium. Broken bats flying around. We've got a lot to cover. Murph Tilt 2. Sports Radio 670 The Score. And Jermaine Dye. Man, every day makes a circus catch. I couldn't have been more wrong. Oh, you gotta love Chris Getz. Comes out of nowhere. Now the hottest guy maybe on the White Sox roster. 2-3 line drives a day. How do you like Chris Getz? Is he your second base leadoff man for the rest of the year? I think he is. Sox fans, is he, real or fake? Come on. Forever? Never? Is he going to be there all year? Is this just, Murph, come on. It's a little 10-game little burst. Don't get carried away. Let's go to the phone line. 644-6767. Pete from Madison, Wisconsin, next on The Score with Murph. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Murph.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Well, so far so good. What do you have from Wisconsin for me?
Well, I'm a transplanted from Chicago. I lived up here about 20 years and still a huge Chicago fan. Not a big Sox fan, so I can't comment on the Chris Getz here.
Right.
But loved that Blackhawks game yesterday. I thought the Blackhawks really showed a lot coming back, being down 3 goals in the second period. Definitely loving what I'm seeing out of the Bulls. I really do think Joakim Noah's looking pretty good, showing a lot of promise, even though a lot of people are thinking maybe he's not, what they want him to be. But and of course, loving the Cubs, Murph.
Well, right now, watch come back to Chicago. This will be the first time ever that everybody's going to be in the playoffs in the same calendar year, including the Bears, even though I know the Bears' final game's in January 2010, so don't ever email me. They're all 5 going to be in this year. How about that, Pete?
That's absolutely incredible. You got to love the Bears. I mean, I know isn't it a little bit too early to get excited about the Bears?
Never. Why would it? It's never too early when you got the all-pro 25-year-old quarterback falls into your lap.
I don't want to hear any more talk about giving up too much for him. You couldn't give up enough to get somebody. I've never seen a quarterback in Chicago with this much promise.
You know what? When it happened the next day, I said, I think they got off easy, the Bears. I thought if I was Denver, I would have tried to get a little more.
Yeah, they gave up a number 1 for Rick Meyer. He didn't do anything.
Oh, man, that was a disaster. All right, hey, Pete, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Murph.
All the way from Madison, Wisconsin. Let me tell you something about Chris Getz. No, why should I? Let's have Ed Farmer. Let's have DJ. During the game, top of the 8th inning, Getz at the plate last night.
The pitch to Getz, the sweeping breaking ball over for strike 1. It's quite the evening, and Getz the leadoff single to start the game and a run scored. RBI single in the second and a run scored. Stolen base, a run score in the 7th that came holding on Fields' first home run of the season. He is 3 for 4, trying to pick up an RBI. Sox lead 7-1. When they tell me they're going to quit, then I stop the offense.
Well, you pick them up while you can, and right now Chris Getz got an opportunity to do more damage. He's having a great night.
Getz is in a nice, strong position in that batter's box.
I like everything about what I'm seeing of his overall game. He gives himself a chance at every at-bat, lefty or righty, and defensively he's just looked outstanding, and he looks outstanding on the base paths. He's well-rounded.
Next one, a swing and a high fly ball to center field. Brzezinski's gone back to tag. Brzezinski scores standing. Sacrifice fly RBI, 8-1 Sox.
They love Chris Getz. It's Murph. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we return, get right back to the phone lines. Is that text result real? That's what it is, huh? I told you I'd be out of step, Charlie. Don't. But let's reload it one more time. Text me right now during this break. 67011. Who do you dislike more? Boston Celtics, letter B, or Calgary Flames, the letter C? Who do you dislike more? B, Boston, C, Calgary. Just the letters, fine. 67011, powered by U.S. Cellulars. Murph, Sports Radio 670. Hey, got some interesting sound bites from Coach Q after the game. Also, we'll have for you and much, much more on the Score. Murph with it till 2 o'clock. And let's see, visiting with White Sox fans. I don't know about you. I think Chris Getz is fun. I think he's the real deal. I also know it's like, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks into the season. In a moment also, you know what? Part of the obligation to be on the radio is you have the responsibility to risk being wrong. And boy, I'm wrong probably more than anybody. And I don't know if I was wrong or not, but my initial plan was for White Sox defense to simply flip-flop 2 guys to just strengthen yourself glove-wise. And I remember years ago in right field at Wrigley Field, Andre Dawson got near the end of his career and legs were bad, and he could still hit the hell out of the ball, and he became a DH with the Red Sox. But I really thought that Jermaine Dye was, a negative out in right field, defensively. And the game plan, which I'm still not convinced I'm right or wrong, would be to, hey, here you go, just switch left field and right field. Carlos Quentin, he's got a good arm. Guy's got a rocket for an arm. But switch those 2 guys and get a little more mobility out there in the tougher, right field. Well, this guy, Jermaine Dye, has been unbelievable. It'd be fun, Jay Zawoski, to ask this question someday. Who's the best defensive right fielder in Chicago? It'd be like 100% to 0. Jermaine Dye. Obviously over, what's his name again? Milton Bradley? Almost forgot. Not even the biggest Cub fan in the world would dare vote for Milton Bradley. This guy, Jermaine Dye, he's robbed, 3-4 home runs this year? He did it again in the 7th inning last night.
1 ball, no strikes on Nick Markakis, who leads off for the Birds. Here's a swing and a high fly ball, right center field. Dye running back. He's at the track against the wall, leaps, and Dye makes a sensational catch as he crashes into the wall. He took away a double and maybe a triple.
I think he took a home run away from him up over the wall, Ed. Jermaine Dye continues to play stellar right field from all of last year through spring training and at the start of this year.
That was a hanging slider.
Highlights here on the score, 644-6767. I've been wrong on a lot of things, but the kid out there, and I didn't call anyone, younger than me, that I am a kid. Now, Chris Getz, did you have a soundbite on that? You were mentioning Jay Zawoski after the game. Someone, did they ask him about?
Yeah, they asked him about leading off.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel more comfortable as a hitter, not necessarily just being at the leadoff position, just seeing pitches better, not trying to do too much. Working some counts. I was fortunate to get some 2-strike hits. That's just what I'm going to try to do. Obviously some days it's going to work, some days it doesn't. And today it happened to work out in my favor, and got the team rolling a little bit.
Good for you, kid. Good for you. I had these numbers an hour ago. If you're just jumping in, Sox fans, on Sunday, April 12th, Chris Getz was 3 for 17 on the year, hitting $176. Since then, he's gone 9 out of 21. He's hitting .430 since April 12th for an overall .316 and an on-base overall .386. These broken bats, they're flying around. It's been going on. It's nothing new. The umpire, Danley, right? Kerwin Danley, he was behind home plate. The bat breaks, comes around, the barrel hits him. He's taken to the hospital. He is okay. They released him. But this has been going on for about 2 years. And what Jay Zawoski just reminded me before the show, he says, Murph, we talked about this, and we pulled it May 15th of 2008. We did a segment on all these bats that are exploding, and is anyone ever going to get, seriously injured? And we pulled back about a 1-minute soundbite here from almost 1 year ago, May 15th of 2008. Now, what happened again last night, Milton Bradley's bat explodes, and only by a couple feet missed, going right into the head of Reds pitcher Johnny Cueto out there.
Oh, man, Johnny Cueto very fortunate to get out of the way as Bradley grounds out. Oh, man, that was very dangerous. I don't know if I've seen a portion of the barrel of the bat go at a defender or anyone else on the field that hard and that dangerously.
Well, and Cueto is running over to cover first base. That's his first instinct, but then he sees that barrel of the bat and decides he's going to get down. Let Joey Votto handle that ball by himself over there at first base. Peripheral vision for a pitcher. I tell you, you're following the ground ball to the right side. You know you have to get over and cover first, but out of your peripheral vision, you see the barrel of the bat coming out there. Fortunately for Johnny Cueto, he was able to get out of the way.
Right, that was last night, Comcast Sportsnet. Broken bats, it's because of the quality. They're using these cheap bats. They're taking the maple bat, not the ash. They're getting maple. They're baking it. It's dry. It's Here's what's going to happen. You're already seeing umpires carried off on the stretcher. You're seeing fans carried out on stretchers. But nothing's going to happen from Mr. Selig until a pitcher is hit and carried off the field. Because, did you read about this maybe, 2 weeks ago? Bud Selig said, I swear to God, he says, we're investigating the bats, and we're looking into it, and this year we're going to evaluate everything. This year, they're going to evaluate everything. Let's go back almost 12 months ago here on The Score, and we were visiting on the Murph Show with the Hoosier Bat Company a spokesperson. Let's go back a year.
Marquino in scoring position, broken bat foul. There's the javelin. Goodness gracious.
11 line ringing. Let's punch it up. Let's go to Hoosier Bat Company, Valparaiso, Indiana. The owner, Dave Cook, on The Score. Hello, David.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I've been trying to find out what's going on. The maple bat is the one that's exploding. Why is it exploding more than the ash or your Canadian birch?
The most critical point in a bat is you have to keep a certain amount of moisture to create elasticity or the bendability of the bat. In order to get maple bats to wait, they're sucking all the moisture out of them, which makes them so brittle that they explode.
Vasquez delivers the 0-1 pitch. Broken bat liner out of play to the right. Now it's 0-2.
A lot of firewood today.
A lot of wood for the winter fire.
Is that the third?
Yeah.
Second or third?
Third bat.
I see. So the maple bats are the ones that are quote-unquote exploding, breaking, shattering with these deathly missiles coming out like a helicopter at these ball players and into the stands. It's mostly, not always, but it's mostly, in your opinion, the maple bats.
Yes, oh, definitely.
I guess what it boiled down to, when a pitcher takes one of these, in the neck, and we hope it never happens, then all of a sudden the union and the commission will say, well, maybe we better talk about this.
That's what it's going to take, somebody to get killed.
Unfortunate.
And it's going to happen, Murph. I'm going to tell you that now.
Or a fan, and the fans don't have a union to stop this when you're sitting in the first 20 rows up and down behind the dugouts.
That's true.
11 months ago, here on The Score, and last night the pitcher almost takes it right there in the neck. But Bud won't do anything. They're evaluating it. It's amazing. How many bat companies do you need? Sure. Let them bid. The low bid doesn't always mean that's something that you should utilize when safety is involved. All right. Let's go back now to our text question. I'm feeling a little better now. We got 77% to 23%. Who do you dislike more? Boston Celtics or Calgary Flames? B, the letter B if it's Boston, 67011, or the letter C if it's Calgary. 77% dislike Calgary Flames, 23% who dislike Boston Celtics. Jay, I think I made a mistake in the way I worded this. I should have worded it. Who do you dislike more? Boston or Calgary? See, not necessarily the players on the team.
Yeah.
See, when I watch the Boston Red Sox fans, I don't like any of the Boston fans just because of that. They seem like they think the world owes them a living, the Boston Red Sox fans, and I just don't like Boston always seeming like they feel like they're supposed to be in the World Series. They're supposed to be at NBA Finals. They're supposed to be New England Patriots, in the Super Bowl. The Bruins are alive right now, right? They just knocked off Montreal. I think it was
they swept Montreal.
4 straight, right? Very good. But, see, I've never been to Calgary. Thank goodness. That's why we have our fine reporters to do that.
Yeah, you're missing out.
You've been there?
No.
Oh, no, right on. I know you're a big hockey guy, but you're not crazy, Jay.
No.
But, see, I envision the Calgary fans as being great fans. That's their whole life is a revolving. Sure, they're loud, they're boisterous, they're all dressed in red. You know what? I love the fans out there. Yeah, I know they booed the American national anthem, but at least 3/4 of you say Calgary, but there's my guys. 1/4 of you saying Boston. When we return in a minute, I want to replay for you something that occurred for the second time in less than a week at the new Yankee Stadium. Now, here's the story. It was in the paper today. Umpires upheld a home run at Yankee Stadium for the second time in 4 days, giving the Oakland A's Kurt Suzuki a 3-run homer in the second inning. They ruled in favor of it after the review. They've had 2 of these video reviews since Sunday when the umpires used the first video review of the season to rule Posada's drive a homer. And that took 8 stinking minutes. We're going to visit Yankee Radio when we return and hear what they say, how they handle it. My guess is design flaw at the new Yankee Stadium, or this wouldn't be happening with the fans reaching out. Back after this, it's Murph, driven to you by Chevy. DriveChicago.com. Any of our earlier topics, grab a phone line, 644-6767. This hour brought to you by Menards. 7.5 hours in a 2-hour show. Let's go to Bill in Crystal Lake is on the Score with Murph. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Murph. Nice to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, listen, I'm an old carpenter, and I've noticed the difference. I've been watching baseball since I was a little kid. And
exploding bats. For anyone just joining us, all the bats are exploding.
Well, they never used to do that.
Uh-huh.
Long ago, and I'll tell you why. I think it's these forests that they're getting their wood from, these are all managed forests. And there's a lot of hormones that they inject into they give the trees growth hormones.
Well, let me ask you this, Bill, and that could very well be contributing, but we replayed from last year a few minutes ago over there at the Hoosier Bat Company, and their contention was that the good old-fashioned, ash, the bats have been made out of ash. Hillrich and Bradsby, Adirondack, they use the ash. But now some of these new companies are using maple, and they dry them out to make them lighter weight, and they're brittle. So that seems to be what they're angling in on here more than the managed forest, perhaps.
Well, anytime you mess with the wood, if you don't let it grow natural, it's going to weaken. It's going to be weak.
Yeah.
But these ball players, as we know, they got a few extra bucks.
Yeah.
And why can't they go and locate some old growth, which is still available?
Well, I believe that the Louisville Sluggers and the Adirondacks are not the ones exploding, because those are still the quality wood. Hey, Bill, always fun to talk to an old carpenter. I was a big fan of Karen and all the carpenters out there. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. We've only just begun. Jay, do we have a minute here to go to the New York Yankee call here?
Yeah.
This is the second time in 4 days at the new Yankee Stadium that the umpires have had to run down, I guess, into the tunnel and review the video of a contested home run, whether it was a legitimate home run, fan interference, ground rule double, and I believe it has to be a design flaw. Put the basket out there like they have at Wrigley Field. The fans should not be allowed or able to physically reach over and get in the way.
The 2-2. A high fly to deep left. Damon going back. He's on the track. Near the wall. Jumps. It's gone. A 3-run home run for Kurt Suzuki. Just over the Damon leap.
And Damon goes back. He's got one hand on the wall, and it is caught by a fan right above him. He looks like he had a beat on that. Is he over the fence?
Might have been.
And now they're going to go look. See, this is something I don't understand. I know it's a new park, and I know details are different, but in every park, you see the first row is set back. There's that little space in between for exactly this reason. So now it's happened in left field. It happened in right field with the Posada home run, and now it's happening in left field. Well, interesting.
Very nicely done. Hey, tip of the hat to them. CBS Radio New York. She said it right there, right? Susan's her name, right? A design flaw. Well, there you go. A lot of flaws. I design it the best we can right here. Folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. See you later, everybody.
That's it. I'm not talking anymore. I have nothing else to say to the media. Okay, that's why I did this. I'm completely done.
Peace, love, and happiness, my man.